Hey there, it's Glenn from Route One Fitness, and I want to talk today about how you can train for Hyrox. So, Hyrox is an amazing all round fitness event. I think it comes from some guys in Europe, and it really does test a number of really important qualities in fitness. There's endurance, upper body push pull, lower body strength, single leg endurance, core strength, grip strength, everything you can really imagine. So, it's really, really good general test of fitness. So if you're not sure about it, never heard of it, I'd encourage you to go and have a look at it. And I think the next event is coming up in the UK in November. So it gives you a load of time to train now for it if it's something you want to get into. So how to train for Hyrox. So there's no two ways about this. This is a running event largely. You're doing 8 kilometers in total. So there are 8 1 kilometer runs, and interspersed between them is a different station. So you've got rowing, ski erg, lunges, farmers carries, burpee broad jumps, which are horrendous, wall balls, and I can't exactly remember what else off the top of my head, but this is largely a running event. And from my observations and participation in it, the strongest people were those who not just had a quick fast run, but a consistent pace overall. So if you really, really want to get good at Hyrox, you've got to get good at running. Can you build an engine on a bike or a rower on something else? You can, but that isn't the same as running. Okay, it's completely different feeling on the body, different impact, different motion. So there's no way to kind of hack this. You need to get good at running. Okay, that's it. Practice. So because of the nature of the event, you're going to split up the running with these different kind of stations. And from my experience, some of those stations affected me more than others. Others, I was able to kind of finish and get straight back into a run without too much kind of recovery. Whereas something like the burpee broad jumps for me, they just kind of wipe me out. And what I observed is that recovery time from completing that obstacle to start running again, I think was significant. So next time I'm going to do it, I'm going to practice that specific transition, try and get better at doing that, get better at kind of pacing it and understanding it, and then get straight back on with the run. So again, if you want to do this, you need to practice it. It doesn't mean you need to practice the actual event each week, but you should practice the obstacles and then the transition from that obstacle into running, because it's just different, right? You can't, you practice these movements in isolations like a sled push, a sled drag, without putting the run either side of it. It's a completely different demand on the body. Strength wise, so we're a big fan of strength training. I think there's always going to be a place for it with whatever you do, even if you're doing like ultra endurance events like Ironmans. I've got a guy at the moment still coming in doing strength training twice a week because it's injury prevention, resilience, and I think it's still super important to do. So for Hyrox, what kind of strength training you should do is really what we would say is more muscle endurance kind of training. And what that means is higher reps. Okay, so 10 plus reps up to 20, 30. Horrible rep ranges. And if you've done that kind of stuff before, you know how it feels. But it's what you're going to need to do, because that's exactly what you're going to want to be doing in the event. That's exactly how it's going to feel. So you shouldn't be spending your time when you're preparing for this, doing 1 rep maxes, 3 rep maxes and stuff like that. Your maximum strength capacity is not going to be the thing that's going to give you success in this event. It's the ability to move, load, and move aerobically in everything you do throughout the event. Now, this, if you've ever run an endurance kind of race before, even any competition, it's a classic schoolboy error to kind of get sucked into running someone else's race. And I saw this again and again over the weekend where, everyone starts out, they're pumped up, the music's going, and they're going off, and they run a 3-minute first kilometer. And then you see them 20 minutes in, their hands on their knees, they're throwing up, and they just feel like crap. You've got to run your race. You've got to zone out. You've got to enjoy the moment. Don't get me wrong, take in the atmosphere and stuff like that. But this is an endurance event. You need to run at the pace you can sustain and complete the activities at the pace you can sustain to keep moving. Anytime you stop moving, you've messed up. So, just if you're going to do this, I would really, really encourage you to run your race. And how you're going to know that It's through practice. It's through practicing, understanding your pacing for the runs, understanding how each obstacle should feel for you, and making sure you don't flirt with that. Because the trouble is, if you get sucked into that, you push into what I'd say is beyond your red line. And the only way to recover from that is to stop. But there is this like little kind of, horrible threshold where you can stay at for this event, which is disgusting and it's sucky, but you can keep moving. And the trick is to find that for you. And you're only going to get that through practice and through running your race. So really, there's no generic one best program for this, because you're going to go into this coming from a very different place than anyone else. But predominantly, the qualities you're going to want to look for in this kind of program is a lot of running. All right, not 1 day a week, not 2 days a week. You're going to have to run 3-4 days a week. Strength training, maybe full body sessions a couple of times a week. And then I would go through maybe practice transition pieces a couple of times a week as well. And then every 2 to 3 weeks, I'd have a full or kind of semi run through of the actual event just to see where you stack up. If you want any help or advice on preparing for Hyrox coming up in November, drop me a message. I'm more than happy to jump on a call, have a chat with you. I won't sell you into anything, but we can just have a chat about where you are and see what we think we want to do. And kind of I can lay out a plan for you and we'll go from there. All right, that's it. Take care. Bye-bye.